Plaintiff, Wesley Pemberton, has been friends with the defendant since kindergarten, and they remain friends despite the fact that the defendant has a troubled past and was arrested for stealing. Wesley says the defendant was also addicted to prescription pills, and he's suing him today for unpaid loans and property he stole to support his drug addiction. Defendant Josh Boyd admits that he was a troublemaker growing up, but he insists Wesley was always right there beside him. Josh claims he and Wesley even paintballed their entire town one night when they were teenagers, and he denies stealing anything from the plaintiff.
All right, prove your case.
Okay. Your Honor, the defendant and I have been friends since kindergarten. Had a little bit of a troubled past. Had stolen a few things, actually, just after high school. Was arrested for stealing about $2,000.
That's more than a few things, sir.
From a local grocery store he was working for. Just got probation. We remained friends. I didn't feel like he'd stolen from me, and so we still kind of remained friends. He was actually friends with me when I went to medical school, and helped me set a record for the Guinness Book of World Records.
What type of record?
Funny you ask. The longest leg hair. Yeah,
longest
just
leg
one.
hair.
Yes, sir.
Hair on your leg.
That's right. That's right. It's funny. It's
how
kind
long?
of
I'm just curious.
6.5 inches.
What?
Yeah.
I was thinking 2. I was like,
right.
All right.
It's pretty amazing. Took us to California and Spain, and yeah, it's a pretty neat little story.
Yeah, I'm still kind of thrown off. So let's see. Yeah, medical school you mentioned. Are you still there?
No, sir. I'm out. I'm in residency now.
How old are you?
28.
Wow. Okay. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see. He's been a thief. You've been half gorilla. And you've been to medical school. And you're in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I know so far. Go ahead.
All right. So he had a few back surgeries. And with any back surgery, there's going to be pain medicines, prescription pain medicines. And I think he ended up getting addicted to them.
What type, to your knowledge?
Hydrocodone, Norco, Vicodin.
Hear from him on this, sir. Were you addicted to prescription drugs after a surgery?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that is happening so often. In fact, from what I'm hearing, it appears to me that most people who are hooked on prescription drugs is because it started out to kill pain from surgeries or injuries. I mean, that's my observation, and I've observed hundreds of people who are addicted to prescription drugs, and about over half of them started out with pain. Wow. All right, let me get a little background from him on your friendship or anything else you want to tell me today.
Yes, sir. As he's already told you, we've been friends for 20+ years. Yeah, he's a great guy, great friend, probably the smartest man I've ever met. But yeah, he is a doctor, but just being a doctor, he's got himself in a lot more, trouble. Every time I've been in mischief, he's been right beside me.
You probably got him into mischief.
50-50. But in an instance, one night he came to the house, picked me up, and we went and paintballed our whole town. His car, his paintball.
You did what?
We paintballed the whole town.
What age?
Driving age, 16, 17. Another instance, we couldn't go play golf without one of us putting a golf cart in the water. It was just whoever did it first. But
how old were you all then?
Well, that started 16 to 17. But
little stuff like, it's not little. It's destroying property. The property
we got him
of
out of the
others,
water.
But
as far as the loans, yeah, I do owe him.
Let me allow him to talk about them first, sir.
Sure. The first loan was in July of '08. He was getting married for the second time. I was his best man. He called me just before the wedding and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to pay for the hotel. And he said, I need to borrow $300 for the wedding night hotel. And at that time, I gave it to him as a loan. There was, at that time, wasn't a timetable to pay back. Then in February of 2009, he called me up and emailed me as well and kind of gave me a sob story and said that his lights were about to be turned off. He said he couldn't afford to pay the electric bill and needed $160. At that time, he told me he would pay me back when his tax return check came in, including the original $300 loan.
Did he work?
No, sir.
You'd have been better off getting him a job, because you're not going to see this money unless I rule for you. He's not paying you voluntarily, doctor. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell me about these loans, sir.
He did, in fact, loan me the money to pay for the night at the hotel. And before I accepted the money, he did say that there is no time limit whenever you were able. Well, I'm not able yet.
And so it was $460, the total amount?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I did have jobs. I had, you know, I may not have been there more than 6 months, but I did have jobs. I've always had a job. And so as far as the payback, he told me just when in due time, you know, whenever you had it,
Whenever you
extra
have it.
to get,
All
you know,
right.
pay back. And I just never, I guess, got around to paying him back.
Okay. Your stolen property. Let me hear about that.
Sure. We were still friends in July of '09. He came to stay at my house in Tyler. And the next day after he left, I noticed that some tools were missing. It was a cordless drill tool set. I called him at first. He didn't pick up. Wouldn't pick up for a day or two. I ended up calling his wife.
Was that unusual?
Yes, it was. Yes, sir. He usually would pick up right away. I talked to his wife, and she said they're probably in a pawn shop. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, Wes, how do you not know? And I said, no, what? She said, for the past year or year and a half, he's been addicted to painkillers. He's been hopping from ER to ER and has been taking stuff, even from her, she said, for money to buy painkillers.
Sir?
First of all, him calling my wife, that never happened because her stuff was my stuff.
What does that have to do with him not calling her?
Well, I mean, as far as, I even asked her, because after he had confronted me on it, I asked her because he said that he did call her, and she never said that he called or anything. I checked the phone records. I couldn't find a phone call in that time period of when he supposedly called. Okay. And as far as me taking stuff to pawn shops, all he had to do was call the pawn shop and be identified. If he'd have done that, you know, if he really thought...
They were telling what?
If I was in there and, you know, pawned his stuff.
No, they wouldn't.
All they had to do is just run your license and...
You're not going to violate your privacy like that. You can't call in there and say, did so-and-so bring you so-and-so? Did so-and-so borrow money from you? No, you can't. When did he first make you aware of this? When did he first ask you about it? How long after you leaving did he mention it?
I received a phone call from him, and when I, again...
How long afterwards?
Probably 2 or 3 days, but again, when I saw him calling...
That's the first time he called you?
Yes.
All right. And have you been convicted for theft before?
Of the instance back in 2000 is the only time.
Okay. You admit to having a problem with prescription drugs. How do you finance that?
My wife's got a real good job. I've had jobs. I did, you know, occasionally take my things to a pawn shop.
Okay.
But it wasn't to say it was always on the loan. I'd always get them back because they are my things.
And your wife, he alleges, told him that you took his things to the pawn shop. And since you admit that you take things to the pawn shop, you admit that you're addicted to prescription drugs, you admit that you stayed at his home, I'm convinced that you did steal his things. $510 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
I'm sorry that it came to this. I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah. Me too. I hope we can kind of get past it and move on, still as friends, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.